explain why the Internet Exchange itself is so important, especially to content providers. To give an example of that, on CBS, I think it was last week or the week before, CEO of YouTube actually stated that in one period of 24 hours, the amount of video that was uploaded to YouTube was enough to keep us all occupied for 24 hours a day for a whole month. That's the exponential growth in terms of the explosion in terms of data and content. But that's ubiquitous in terms of YouTube itself. The problem is, where is that data actually stored? We've got cloud computing. Hundreds and thousands of servers, physical servers, have got to be placed somewhere. The one thing that we don't have up in the northwest at the moment is enough data center space. I noticed someone smiling over there. We'd like it, and we know where it is, but we haven't got it as yet. Manchester, in its own right, is a creative region, both from media and pre- and post-production. Media City exists. That's growing. The requirement for more and more data storage is expanding exponentially. We have, up in the north of the city, a data centre called the Sharp Factory, already built and available. But it's actually quite small in terms of the amount of facilities that it can actually provide to the media people and the creative minds that are over there. They need the facilities that we're actually talking about here. But what do we actually have today? One of the big things that's actually been constraining international companies coming to the northwest is the ability to have a diverse channel of London for transit. Very important aspect. They need to get the data in, and they actually need to push it back out again as well. The exchange itself will answer some of the questions in terms of pulling that data in and distributing it in a very, very cost-effective way. I mentioned earlier that transit is actually quite expensive. Sean mentioned that it was actually quite cheap in Manchester. There are a lot of companies paying anywhere between £4 and £15 per megabit or megabyte for transit itself. If you look at an exchange, or EdgeIX I should say, that £4 to £15 is actually 4 pence per megabyte. There's an incredible difference between the two. 4 pence per megabyte, not pounds. People don't believe me when I say that, but actually I can prove it. And if you want me to afterwards, I will do.
Sorry, you mean £4 per megabyte or £4 per megabit per second?
A megabyte. So £4 a megabyte. Yeah, so transit is bought usually in chunks of megabytes. You know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100. Sorry, megabits. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. It is megabits. Yeah. Who's talking about speed?
Megabits per second or megabytes is a big difference.
Yeah, it is megabits per second. You have a CDR, a committed data rate of whatever megabits it is. So the distance between the two is still huge in terms of the cost of that. Where I started with that was the IP, the transit itself, being diverse of London. We actually have one of our partners that has actually created that route out now of Manchester. So the confidence comes, big tick. The Internet Exchange, we already know, just been talking about it, big tick. The data centre space though, space that is actually online today and available at the power that's required today, we don't have. So that's one question we have. The other one is more to do with politics, the government, regional development agencies, local authorities in terms of incentives to draw companies into the region itself. And that's where I want to go next in terms of the northwest. I mentioned earlier on Media City and the Sharp Factory and how they can actually pull in the opportunities themselves. The largest provider, I hope I'm right in saying this, the largest provider of a search engine in the world at the moment is the Big G. They are actually coming to Manchester very, very shortly, and because of the infrastructure that we're able to give them today, although it's not enough, the infrastructure that we have today, based on our network and the facilities that we can offer them, they're actually coming to Manchester because they see it as a very, very large growth area, and they're actually building an 8 gigabit node in Manchester. That's a big coup for Manchester, and it will be public fairly soon.
It's public now. I got it.
I haven't written it though. I haven't written it, but it's what is happening today. So, put me off slightly there. Never mind that. Yeah, it was something that needed to be made as a point, because that is a huge organisation, and they've chosen the Northwest as a place to come and actually experiment